Sorry for the initial technical issues. We are also learning. So, I was saying that when I was in college, I came across a book, Think and Grow Rich. I was quite surprised. Is it possible just to think and earn money? I somehow purchased that book and read it in a very quick manner. I was not convinced that it is possible to earn money by just thinking. Then what happened was sometime after that, one more book came in front of me, and this was Creating Affluence. This book was on spirituality, and again the same question came in my mind. Is it possible that we can use spirituality to earn wealth? I was again surprised. I purchased the book. I read the book Creating Affluence. The book was by Dr. Deepak Chopra, and somehow the doubt element was still there, and I did not make any effort of implementing what these authors were trying to tell. I read the book. I was in academics. I was able to speak on the books as well in some college group discussions and that sort of activities, but I never thought of applying those principles and becoming rich in life actually. Time was passing by, and one more book came in front of me. It suddenly appeared somewhere at the house of my relative. It was The Millionaire Next Door. I borrowed the book from uncle. The book spoke about the success stories of people like you and me who were millionaires, first generation millionaires who did not receive any wealth from their parents. They started their own business by themselves. They did not have any kind of family business background as such. And in one decade, it was possible for them to become a millionaire. This was the point when I started thinking differently about these books on richness. And I thought perhaps there is some kind of stuff in it. Otherwise, you can't fool all the people all the time. And then what happened was I again went back to Think and Grow Rich and again prepared my own notes, this time with an intention of using it in my life. I was very young at that time, and I was still confused between abundance and money. So it so happened that abundance had started flowing to me, but I had not realized it at that time. I was doing two master's degrees, one in my hobby that was music. I was doing a master's in music as well as I was doing MBA. And somehow I was able to manage my time properly, manage my health properly. My assignments and submissions and presentations were happening properly. I was getting good marks. Actually, I was a rank holder, and still I didn't have money. And then again, I went into the mode of doubt. It so happened that I had started receiving abundance from the universe, but I had not yet started getting wealth or the money. I again did a little bit of study, and then I understood, or rather, then I asked a question to myself: is there any point in our life which does not touch money? Or in reverse context, is there any point in our life where money does not touch that kind of abundance? And then I understood money does not essentially mean some kind of money physically flowing to you in the initial stage. It will first start manifesting some kind of happiness, abundance in your life, and then it will correct your vibrations. Again, I thought what vibrations, what these authors are meaning. And then the next book that appeared in front of me was The Secret. That was the book on law of attraction. Then the next book that came in front of me was Money and the Law of Attraction. The authors of Money and the Law of Attraction had read the same book, Think and Grow Rich. And they said after reading that book, we became millionaires. And we suggested a lot of people to read Think and Grow Rich. And then we observed that a lot of people read that book, Think and Grow Rich, but all of them did not become rich. But we could become rich. So, somewhere we were convinced that this kind of activity, where you learn how to become rich and you implement it in life, is the key to success. And then they wrote the book, Money and the Law of Attraction. In the meantime, it so happened that I was getting married. Again, abundance was flowing to me. So it was very much possible to marry the person whom I wanted to, rather than my parents telling me to marry someone. Abundance was flowing. It was at that time when I was able to somehow, first time, transform all these fundas to some extent, of course, into the monetary wealth. And while most of my friends were doing jobs somewhere or the other, it was me for the first time. I'm talking about 1994, 96, that time. It was possible for me to get a job in a US based software company. It was for the first time that my salary was much more than the salary of my friends. I was extremely happy and I started speaking to my friends on abundance and money. Slowly, I realized that all those who work on their vibration are able to implement what our authors are telling us. And that was a kind of key to success. Later on, it so happened that I shifted a little bit in my career and I was doing PhD. While doing PhD, I had a lot of experience, academic kind of, and suddenly, again, please note down this word suddenly. Once you are on the path of abundance, these things start happening on their own without much of struggle. So it so happened that I found some notice somewhere in the college notice board that university was going to host some kind of competition on the PhD thesis. I said, I first always used to go in the self doubt mode. So I said, will I get a prize? Is my PhD all that good? Will I get a prize in PhD thesis competition? I took around 2 3 minutes to come out of the self doubt mode and I said, why not? What I have to lose there? So I participated in the PhD thesis competition and I got the award. I was able to understand that abundance is touching different parts of my life. My love life was getting, say, on the right track. I was able to earn money. I was progressing in academics. The honor, the name, and fame was coming. And then I said, why not start speaking to people on this? When I was speaking to people on this, it so happened I happened to be a finance teacher in the institute. I used to speak to my students about wealth and abundance. My students used to get placements, and after getting placements, whenever they had an opportunity of training in their companies, my own students started calling me as a trainer, and effortlessly my entry happened again to the corporate world. And those students still keep on calling me for training programs because these students have experienced that once we work on these vibrations, what happens is abundance and wealth starts flowing to you. Of course, the study did not stop here itself. I further went to the books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I picked up a point of uh, uh, creation of real estate or making money through that, because that was the time when I thought this is the point that I need to pick up. The book is much more than this particular path. And effortlessly, it so happened that my neighbor decided to sell their flat, and my first attempt of making money through buying and selling of real estate came true. And I was able to again earn a good deal of money in the transaction as well. Further to add, I again was reading all these books on attracting money. Then a book came through the college library in front of us. That was A Man is Not a Financial Plan. The title attracted me. I said, A man is not a financial plan? What does the author mean? I picked up the book, and again, the book was so good. It spoke about a limiting factor that most of women have. They are so good in earning money, but when it comes to managing money, they give all the money to their husband to manage, or to their dad to manage, or they appoint some consultant and they give their money to the consultant to manage. And they believe they are good in earning, but they are not good in making financial planning. So, this book of John Barker, A Man is Not a Financial Plan, was one more key to success. Further to add, a book came that was 11 Principles of Financial Freedom. Then there was one more book by again Deepak Chopra, that was Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. Then there was one Marathi book, Yere Yere Paisha. Now I had heard Yere Yere Pausa. What is Yere Yere Paisha? I said, if I start saying Yere Yere Paisha, is money going to come to me? But this time I had not gone in the self doubt mode. I quickly purchased the book and read it. It spoke about some spiritual laws which we Indians have been following. Surprisingly, this is a book which speaks about our Indian way of looking at wealth. And the highest mm, achievement on this path was, I came across a book of the Silva mind control method. I immediately took admission to the course of Silva mind control method. What Silva mind control method taught me was to work actually on how to correct the vibration. I did my certification. It was superb. I was going through some health issues at that time, and it helped me to correct the health issues as well. And then I did one more certification, and I actually understood how or what all these books that I have been reading in last 10 years or so been teaching to the T. Exactly, all the dots got connected. And that was the point where I started teaching this subject as such. Again, one more book came in my life, and this book was the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. These Patanjali Yoga Sutras spoke about some siddhis. Now, siddhi is something that we people uh, consider as a magic or some kind of unbelievable thing. And there was a full chapter on manifesting things. I understood what Patanjali Yoga is trying to teach us is again working on our own vibrations in such a manner that we are able to manifest, if not to the level of a siddhi which a yogi may have. Anyway, who wants to fly in the air or walk on the water? So forget the magic part of it. But it is possible to manifest wealth and abundance even through the path of yoga. When these two things again got connected here in the head, I again worked on it a little bit. It was interesting, amazing journey. And then it so happened I did a good deal of research further on finding out what these Western authors are telling us and what Patanjali Yoga is telling us. In the meantime, what happened was we used to have uh, journal. I thought of writing in the journal, and at that time I had again gone in the self doubt mode. So that journal was from one of the journals of Harvard University. At that time, I thought, who would accept my paper? And the moment I go in self doubt mode, I make one more attempt to break that barrier. So that self doubt mode itself is something where I get attracted. So while I was in that self doubt mode, I made an attempt to write a paper and sent it to Harvard. And to my greatest surprise, my paper was not only accepted for presentation there, they also they also arranged for my visa and I got a chance to visit Harvard, stay there on the campus and attend some value addition programs in finance. Now this time when I was doing research on finance books, on books on abundance and Patanjali Yoga, I again made some kind of research and sent it to USA once again. Of course, that little bit of self doubt mode was there because again I said in the conference, people like great yogis will come or great scientists will come or people directly from Silva organization itself will come and who is going to listen to me. And what is so great with my research? But then I thought I'm at least making an attempt to explore and break the barrier. I sent my paper there, and to my greatest surprise, again they gave me a scholarship to come to USA. They gave me 3.5 hours to speak. Now, that was something really good, really great for me. And then I believed each time when I am going in self doubt mode, I am differently looking at a new possibility, and abundance is going to open there. Whenever this abundance comes, it does not come alone. Abundance comes with peace of mind, it comes with money. Now, when I said that I went to USA recently, they gave me a scholarship to attend the program. So that is money. If I always restrict my view that if I want to attract abundance and wealth, there should be some value addition in my bank passbook. I am thinking very limited. If it is happening that somebody is giving me a scholarship, that is actually a kind of wealth itself or money itself. When I went there, I understood that I'm on the right path. Not only that, that the world is looking at India because yoga is a part of uh, soul of India as such. And then what happened was I got one more program and one more and one more. Now, all these things are possible because I was able to work on the vibes that the books, first two books that I spoke about, one was Creating Affluence by Dr. Deepak Chopra, and another book was Think and Grow Rich. So, in the next 10 minutes or so, whatever time is left with us, I know why I always tell about this success story is many a times people believe if a speaker is speaking, he must be reading from some book and he must be doing some kind of say copy paste kind of dialogue. So I always take first 10-15 minutes to explain that I was also in the self doubt mode. I was initially doing the same thing. I used to read this. I used to think, ha, wow, good book. But I was not able to implement it. But I was able to break the barrier. And in each aspect of life, I was able to manifest some kind of abundance in terms of health or relationships or in terms of money. So, after introducing all these things that I went through, I will now quickly try to introduce a few principles of wealth and abundance to you. So basically, I have a question for the audience. I know we don't have much of interaction in this kind of online discussion as such, but whenever the audience finds time, they can write the answer for themselves. The question is, what exactly got you attracted to this program? What exactly got you attracted to this program? Was it the title, the abundance and wealth? Was it the word money in the title? Or have you gone through something like law of attraction, etc., and you just have some kind of interest in this subject? Or you are also in self doubt mode, through which I was going for quite a lot of time in my life? What it was exactly that could draw your attention to this particular program? And that is the reason that you are right now trying to manifest, or trying to find answers for in your life. Further to add, what I mean by this particular point is, in each situation in life, we get what we have been asking for. So, if you are listening to this particular speech right now, somewhere in your money, in your mind, the word abundance, wealth, money are somewhere swinging around, and therefore these words attracted you to this particular session. And if you have been asking for, there is somebody who is sharing these secrets with you right now. Somebody happened to be a very common person, and at every kind of self doubt mode, somebody who has learned to break the barrier is now sharing the secret. So, all of you who are listening right now, or maybe listening in the future on Facebook, whenever you have a self doubt mode, please remember that it is quite possible to break that self doubt barrier, and don't look at self doubt from this point of "Arey kya?" So that self doubt is a kind of way of looking at that particular situation differently. That's all. So, when I said what actually attracted you to this session was some kind of liking for the word money, liking for the word abundance, liking for the word wealth. Going ahead, now that you are asking for all these things, in this particular session, I will see to it that at least you will get some three secrets that I learned from these books. The first secret that Think and Grow Rich or Napoleon Hill speaks about is, the ordinary people are not able to become rich is because they don't know what they want in life. Now, people basically cross question this. They tell us 10 things. Like, for example, I have say taken this kind of education, I have got a job, my marriage is doing well, and how come this Napoleon Health is saying that you don't know what to do in life? There itself is one barrier. So, what Napoleon Hill tells us is, look at this point differently and try to find out what difference are rich people making and how you are living your life. So, what Napoleon Hill is telling us is, try to speak to yourself. He has used the word auto suggestion, which I will speak about in the next 2 minutes. Napoleon Hill says, first try to find out what you want to do in your life. If I want to become rich in life and this particular job is not giving me the kind of wealth that I want, to what extent it is a correct decision to keep expecting that this particular job itself will make me rich. Now, there, if we find a barrier, we are able to break the barrier. Now, this happened with me also. I was also passing through a phase, therefore, whatever reasons unknown, I was not able to earn the amount of money. Not only that, the money that I wanted to earn or I was earning was also blocked for some reasons unknown. I was working and I was not able to earn wealth. I gave myself some time because my logical mind was telling this situation will change. But then it so happened again, while doing some kind of house cleaning and all such things, this Think and Grow Rich again appeared in front of me. And the book was staring at me. And the book said, Smita, what am I telling you? Me, Mr. Napoleon Hill. I said, dear Mr. Think and Grow Rich, what are you trying to tell me? Actually, I'm not able to understand. Then I just closed my eyes, sat with the book, and I understood that it is not correct on my part to expect that if wealth is not coming from this particular way, it is not correct on my part to keep expecting that wealth must come only from this way. World is much bigger, and why I cannot look for different sources of income. And then I changed my auto suggestion. Our secret number two for the session is auto suggestion. My auto suggestion changed. The earlier auto suggestion that I had was, I am not progressing in this particular job. I am not progressing in life. My capacities are not fully utilized. And the vibration inside was, Are kya? At the end of the day, I had the vibration, Are, and I understood that despite having read all these books and experienced all this abundance earlier in life, I had again gone in that particular mode where I thought I must allow money to come from this particular way only. And I had closed all other gates. I immediately opened all the gates and I said, Dear Mr. Money, all gates are open. Yere yere paisha, the book I had read. So when I said yere yere paisa, paisa started coming. And it so happened that one of my students again called me who was not in contact for quite a lot of years. And he said, Ma'am, kasha ahat तुम्ही? One of my friend wants to do this and this, etc. Kind of training program. Is it okay if I give your phone number to him? And that company happened to be one of the biggest multinational companies in Pune. So buying a car from them is a dream of many of us. And I said, Are, my student is working in that company. Somehow I had lost the contact, and this student called me and established the contact. And then I realized that it was me who had closed that particular door of abundance and money, abundance and wealth. And I was not allowing money to come to my bank passbook from that door. That was a perfectly legal, fair way of earning money. I had closed the door. Then who was stopping me? Then I left the job because that auto suggestion got corrected. Auto suggestion is what I was speaking to myself in crude language. I was saying, Smita, you are not progressing here. Whatever progress you had to do, you have already made here. That was the auto suggestion. But what was the new auto suggestion? I connected back to Think and Grow Rich. I exactly was able to understand what Napoleon Hill was telling. Ordinary people do not know what they want from life. Somehow I had become ordinary and I had started thinking that money can come from this and this way only. I understood after 10 years what Napoleon Hill was trying to tell. Then I understood, henceforth, I will not do this with myself. So I decided not to become ordinary once again. I corrected my auto suggestion and I opened all the possible gates. I wrote blogs. These blogs reached the people where they would have actually reached. Because of that, I again started getting different sources of wealth, and with each source of wealth, the kind of profession that I am in now, where I work on the mindset of the people, I am able to provide a lot of life transformation to them. As a result, what happens is I am getting a very different kind of satisfaction when I speak to people. And when I speak to people, I am not now speaking to people who are just graduates like college, who are 20 years old. I was in that profession, I enjoyed that profession for 15 years. But if I had to grow, it wasn't right for me to keep speaking always throughout my life to somebody who is a 20-year-old kid, because I was growing and I was not allowing myself to grow, because every time I had to go to the level of a 20-year-old kid and speak to him. There was the barrier which I was able to break now. Now what is happening is the world is full of different kind of people, different opportunities are there. I keep on taking programs all over the world, and that is how the kind of job satisfaction, new networks, new opportunities to travel, all these things again started touching my life. I said we will at least speak about three secrets which I have understood. First secret was ordinary people don't know what they want from their life, and therefore if you want to break that barrier from wealth, on the way of wealth and abundance, first you have to understand what you want in life. That was first point. Second point that we saw was, uh, if we write what we want, or if we speak to ourselves about what we want. He has used the word auto suggestion. That point we saw. Where I gave you the example was, I was saying, Smita, whatever growth you wanted to have in this particular career, you have already made. And now there is some kind of stagnation. That was the dialogue that I was having with myself, and I was ending my day with the same feeling. Hmm, आज भी यही. So, for correcting this kind of thing, we have to break this barrier, and then we have to write a new auto suggestion. And my new auto suggestion was, I allow money to flow in my life from different sources. The third secret, which I already spoke about earlier, which I will elaborate upon now, is a kind of self doubt. Many times, what happens is we try to do something new, we want to do something new, but there is one more person sitting inside us who pulls us behind. So when I went to Harvard for the first time, that was my first international travel. This another Smita who doesn't trust the abundant and infinite Smita. The other Smita said, तुला जमणार आहे का? So you haven't gone to any country so far, not even as a vacation. So will you be able to go? That was a kind of self doubt. Another question was, there will be so many talented people in Harvard. Will they listen to you? Who is going to listen to you? There was one more self doubt. The third thing was, because it was on a short notice, the third doubt that another Smita had was, कि, dear infinite Smita, are you going to get visa? The minimum 45 days लागतात, and 45 days are not there. So you go to USA next year. let this particular season go. I said, Arre, what is happening to me? Then I wrote down what that another Smita was saying. And another Smita had so many points. Now, because I was on my path, I hate another Smita. I allowed her to speak. I welcomed her and I said, my uh, dear Smita, who is sitting inside me, please come out with all self doubts so that the another part in me, which is infinite Smita, so let infinite Smita find out the answers. And then this another Smita and infinite Smita together can go to USA. Then another Smita started giving all the doubts. You don't eat non-veg, then who will look after your child? Then if you are in USA and something happens to your old parents here, will you get so much of leave? Who will pay your fees? I just made a list of all the points that another Smita was saying about. All the points were valid. Then for each point, I transferred that power to infinite Smita. And that is how infinite Smita said, "Ki, is it possible to get some kind of research grant from Pune University?" I immediately went to the institute's registrar and tried to find out if there are such schemes, if I am eligible for them, who is the right person who can guide me, and where will I get such kind of forms. I again inquired about the leave, how much leave I can get. I again inquired about taking care of my child. Say, I called my parents, will you come and stay here? I spoke to my child. I asked him, Ki beta, if mom is not there for a lot of days, how will you respond? My child was actually very happy because, dad doesn't scold, no? It's mom who scolds. So he said, Khub chan, you go for a lot of days, mom. I will stay with dad and we will have fun and we will watch a lot of cartoons. So I understood for each question that another Smita had, infinite Smita is able to find out some solutions for that. And that's exactly what these authors are telling us. It is the vibration of self doubt which stops us from progressing in life. As I said, I don't hate another Smita. Another Smita is my inseparable part. I allow another Smita to speak, and another Smita gives me a lot of valid points to work upon. And when infinite Smita works upon those points, the barriers are broken. So I don't look upon it as a problem. Each time, my dear friends, you go into the mode of self doubt, don't hate yourself. It's okay to go in self doubt mode. Whenever you are in a self doubt mode, just take a deep breath, give yourself 5 minutes, and allow that person who is doubtful inside you speak out and look for solutions. Solutions are there. So, the last point for the day will be we are a part of this universe, and universe is full of abundance and wealth. Whenever we go in self doubt mode, we come back. The moment we come back, we stop ourselves from going into receiving mode, and the universe does not deliver it to you. I will give you an example here. Suppose I have gone to best of the best restaurant in the city. I have ample money to pay the bills, and I have decided to eat something different which I generally don't eat in the corner wala restaurant where we generally go. I go to the hotel and this new 5 star or say even a bigger hotel, and then I tell the waiter, Give me something great to eat. He doesn't understand that. He gives me a menu card. I again tell the person there, see, I want to eat something different. So serve me something different. He looks at me. He has no clue. I again try to explain him. See, I have ample money. I have come here to explore this place, and please serve me something different, which I generally don't eat. The person says, ma'am, this is the card. Our kitchen is capable of serving each and every dish that we have mentioned on this card. You please decide what you want, we will serve you. And then he leaves me. And then he starts paying attention to someone else. And then I get angry. I say, Are see, this person is not paying attention to me. He is not serving me. I am sitting here for half an hour, but he is not able to serve me. I am so unlucky. See that other couple, they came after me, but they were served before me. And that fellow is ignoring me. I am now going to make a complaint with the hotel people that I wasn't treated properly here. You have a lot of, say, partiality here. Now, this is what? This is a, say, foolishness from my side because the waiter doesn't understand what dish is called as something different. There is no such dish. He is capable of serving me. He wants to give me. I am capable of receiving. I have ample money to pay, but nothing happens and I go in complaint mode. Now problem is not with the hotel. Problem is not with my financial position. Problem is that I am not able to ask for it properly. And again, while closing, we connected back the session to the point that Napoleon Hill has told us. Ordinary people remain ordinary because they don't want what they want in their life. Unless and until I am able to ask for specific something instead of saying something different, something new, something good, something very costly, unless and until I tell the waiter, serve me this particular dish, he will not be in a position to serve me. So, whenever we are in self doubt mode, we are actually standing at that particular, say, position where we are not able to speak to the universe. Universe is like that five-star hotel who can make each and every dish for you and serve you, and it will be happy to give it to you. And the moment they see the happiness on my face, they will be happy because I become their happy customer. So, similarly, the universe will be happy to deliver it to me and see that I am happy. But the moment I go in self doubt mode, I come backwards and I believe, or I have that limiting belief that I am not lucky, I am not, say, provided with the food that I wanted to eat. This is not a good place. These people don't pay attention to you. That fellow ignored me. This eating place is not good. I will not come here again. I will complain. Actually, the thing is, the moment we are in a self doubt mode, we should take a pause instead of coming back. And at that point, it's possible for us to call the infinite part of our personality. When I'm saying infinite personality or infinite smita, that infinite part is present in each one of us. And that complaining and criticizing and doubting person is also there inside us. So Napoleon Hill is saying these are the ordinary people who lead their life by the guidance of that another Smita. And these are the special people or the people who become rich in their life who are able to follow the guidance of their infinite self, the infinite Smita. So, to conclude, I would sum up in 1 minute. We first listened to my success story, just make you to believe that an ordinary person is able to break the barriers in this life itself, and the person is quite capable of seeing abundance in all parts of life, not only in money. We saw about that success story. Then we spoke about Napoleon Hill, we spoke about Deepak Chopra, we spoke about a man is not a financial plan, Yere Yere Paisha, creating affluence, seven spiritual laws of success. We spoke about Rich Dad Poor Dad, 11 principles of financial freedom. All these books give us very good insights about living abundant and rich financial life. Then the next point that we spoke about was Napoleon Hill has spoken about ordinary people, that ordinary people remain ordinary because they don't know what they want in life. And if a reader reads this line casually, he will laugh at Napoleon Hill and he will say, Arey, I have done this in life, and what are you saying? That I don't know what to do in life. But if we dig into deeper in that thought, we understand that there is a ordinary self in our personality, and there is an unbound, unstoppable, infinite self which is always in contact with the supreme universe, who is aligned with the cosmic frequencies. And then we need not hate the person inside us who is doubting us. So he is also trying to guide us. If we start looking at that ordinary self inside us, he will guide you finally towards the infinite part in our personality. The moment this starts happening, success will start coming without much of struggle, because now I am not driving away that ordinary Smita. I am holding the hand of ordinary Smita and I am walking with her. So there is no struggle, there isn't much of conflict, no chid, very less stress inside your mind. We spoke about this, and then we also spoke about the auto suggestion. So if we speak with our own self in some negative manner, we need to work upon that language, because that language is disturbing vibration inside us. So the moment we change the way we speak to ourselves, that is the auto suggestion, what will happen is the world around me will start reflecting differently on myself. So, for example, if I say that let abundance come to me through, say, long and beautiful and black hair, abundance doesn't have, universe doesn't have any problem in giving me that kind of hair. But how do we speak? आता वय झालं ना, now I have crossed 40 now, now I will, my hair will fall, no? So if we start speaking to ourselves in a negative auto suggestion, that is going to happen. So that is actually happening everywhere in our life. So whenever we are speaking to ourselves, if we speak differently, this doesn't require much of life transformation. We just have to take a pause, see what we are speaking, and change the words. And that will happen to us in our life. So, last insight to mothers on the group. When it happens about kids, most of the mothers keep on saying, मेरा बच्चा ना मोर मोबाइल पे ही रहता है, मेरा बच्चा ना, उसको पढ़ाई के लिए बिठाना मतलब है राम. So that is the kind of dialogue. When that dialogue is coming out from your mind, you are actually speaking that thing to your own self, and your child is also listening to that. So if you start saying, today, now the name of my child is Satu. So if I say, today Satu, let us sit for studies and I want to enjoy the learning with you. huh? मज्जा करूया. How will the child say कि नहीं मजा नको करूया? It is a word that I changed and I gave him an auto suggestion. There could be that majja feeling, vibration in studies as well. And then he will keep the mobile aside. He will come to me and then with his book in his hand he will tell me, show me where is majja. And then quality time between mom and child begins. Now this will happen effortlessly. This doesn't have to be done with a big struggle. This will happen effortlessly. While doing this, we will explore the capacity of our child. We will speak to the child, and the child will look for these moments when he wants to sit for studies with mom. A little bit of patience will be required because it's quite possible that the child is already a little bit addicted towards his mobile. But in a short while, he will understand the difference between an electronic device and a living mom, and he will again be attached to you as a mom. So that is quite possible. I actually can speak on this and I can touch all aspects of life, including our married life, the life between the sas bahu, the pet, and the trees and plants around, everything. But I don't think right now we should explore all aspects of this. I thank Sonali madam for giving this opportunity to speak. Uh, Somebody is asking for my contact details. How do I give them? My mobile number is 9766509090. I will type in the chat box also. So I once again thank all of you for a good listening. I wish that all of you experience abundance in each aspect of your life, including money. In 5 years down the line, all the people who are listening to this speech now should be millionaires in their life. Thank you.